it's me that rely on yourself in a way. Believe.
Good morning again. Golly. All right, let's fix this. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Um, just to give you guys an update from yesterday's debacle, um, I managed to get and talk to my bank, and I was also in touch with PayPal. Um, and I have a suspicion that the company that did that supposedly was the one also ripped off was the one that instigated this, because I have not heard from them. I've heard from both PayPal and my bank. Nothing much has been done yet. It's still in the prelim stuff, so the creek is still much there, but at least there's some motion to get something flowing. So we'll see how that works out. I don't know yet what's going to happen. Um, I do know that PayPal is still going to be deleted, though. Um, it has proven to be compromised, so I can no longer use that. So I'm gonna close it down as soon as they cancel everything and got everything figured out. Once they have that all cleared out, I just won't be using them anymore. I don't think I even trust PayPal anymore. Um, I've heard enough stories, and now that it's happened to me, I don't even remotely want to even try using them anymore at all. So I'll stick to something else. Don't know what yet, but I'll stick to something else. Oh, it is K. It is very much a bother. Um, it's more than a bother. Um, it's way inconveniencing, and it puts the whole family at a deficit for things we need to get done, and that's the biggest problem I have right now. Is just it was the most inopportune time for something like this. No opportune time, but this was the most inopportune time that it could have possibly happened. So, but again, thank you for all of you people who have helped, asked what they can do. There are some people who've reached out to try and help with technicalities of it, and thank you again for that. And as soon as I know more, um, I'll get back with you as to what you can and can't help with. Um, so, but again, thank you for all of those who have offered a helping hand um, in the situation. It means a lot. Today, however, um, we're going to dive into something I think that is very necessary for the church to be aware of. Um, and the more I think about this over the last few days, the more I'm convinced that um, my theory on my theory on the concept that the devil is using um, the idea of women in leadership roles outside of the God ordained role to permeate the church and in turn destroy what semblance of it we have. It is becoming more and more apparent that I think that theory is 100% right. Um, and what he tries to do is to demonize the position that God put women in, and to um, weaken the position that God put man in. What I mean by that is, if a man takes the role of being a man, misogynistic. If a woman takes the role of being a woman, or she just doesn't know what she wants, and you need to have empowerment. And if the woman takes the lead, woman empowerment, this is how it should be. Need to listen to up. So there is a mad push for that right now. Um, and if you watch, the thing that's really getting a lot of traction is the feminization of men, becoming way more feminine. Um, this conversation about get in touch with your feelings and all that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with being um, a male that understands the emotional psyche, but an emotional man is not a man. A man has to function in a very direct, straightforward, and grounded position. Um, Oddly enough, women need to as well, because if you look at the Proverbs 31 wife, She's very diligent, has her ducks in a row, but the hierarchy is still very much there. And I think what the devil has succeeded in doing is taking away the woman's role, twisting it, and putting something else back out there as the role when it's not really the role. And what you end up with is a bunch of damaged women and a bunch of sissified men and a lot of broken homes. In fact, you may not even find the homes anymore. That's why they have the kinds of rates they do with the single mother and the wayward father. So we're going to be looking at what the root cause might possibly be. And we'll have a few people that we're going to use as object lessons, because they are out there in the social sphere putting out that message every day. But what I also think it's linked with is a witchcraft of sorts, but more so exactly witchcraft, like precisely witchcraft, divination. And since it all stems from the devil, it makes sense. So I'm going to break some stuff down first, and then we'll get into the video we're going to be reacting to, if you call it a reaction. The person in the video we'll be looking at proclaims they are not a Christian. They are agnostic. I don't think they even know what the agnostic word means, but they say they're agnostic. And the statements made and questions asked of this person by a commenter kind of codifies my belief about another individual who has already said that they are a witch. And you'll hear the person's background that's agnostic will tell you that they're not agnostic. They'll tell you that they're a Satan worshiper. They just don't want to say it like that because they know the connotations that attach to a Satan worshiper. And you'll catch it pretty quickly. And we're going to go into a bunch of the things about what voodoo is and what black magic and all that stuff and how it really plays a part in religion when it's attached to Christianity. Again, I'm not a historian, but I'm aware of voodoo. I grew up in the Caribbean, so I know exactly how it works. I know exactly what voodoo is. I also am fully aware of what the other side of witchcraft is, which is the Catholic faith. So all of the religions that are lumped together, and this is part of what voodoo is. And there's a new version of voodoo that moves around too, that takes from every bit of the religions. This is why you'll hear them say all religions are okay and it's all one. This is what the dangers of the Pope saying everybody is one. That's the danger of it, because it's exactly witchcraft. So this breakdown will give you a little bit of an idea of how this actually works. Now, I will warn you, this individual at one point will use a certain word. So if your ears are, funky, then just try and slough over it. Okay, slough over it if you don't mind. Now, again, based on what we talked about Monday, there is one individual that we will be hearing about, not hearing from, but hearing about, and that is Miss Wright, who is already a self-proclaimed witch. Okay, so I'm not saying anything that they didn't say. That's what they said they are. I'm just agreeing. Yes, that's what you are, a witch indeed. So here it is. Just listen to it, and we'll be dealing mostly with the face on the screen. If you have a hard time understanding her, trust me, everybody does. So here we go. Don't mind.
What if your wife was treated the same way that you treated Steph? And they know that it's so disgusting what they did to Steph.
Now, again, I've told people before, I have no problem with you taking jabs at me. Jabs at me are fine. I'm fine with that. I'm a Gen Xer. Okay. I am smack dab in the middle of Gen X. And so hurtful words are not like detrimental to my being. Okay. We grew up taking jabs at each other. And trust me, today's society, y'all don't know what a jab is. Y'all don't know what an insult is if you have not lived through the 80s and 90s. Y'all don't know. You have no clue. You got zero clue what it means to roast somebody. I'm going to tell you right now. Today's roast, nothing. And I mean nothing compared to what you went through in the 80s and 90s. We had no filter. We didn't care how much it hurt. We would find the most painful memory to harp on. So there ain't nothing you could say about me that'll be like, oh my gosh, you said, like the comment, he was so much in character, his dentures almost popped out his mouth. Well, if I had dentures, that would make sense. But since you don't know, this is a part of people that do insults, that they don't know how to make an insult. First of all, it's not dentures. Okay, they're implants, so they're not going to pop out. I get the inference, but you could have made it a way better insult than that. No, but again, they still going after the family thing. They cannot understand that doing that is detrimental to them. They keep harping on the same stupid analogy, not understanding, or probably understanding that it makes no sense, but not caring that it doesn't make any sense. And to answer that stupid, hyperbolic statement, yes, if somebody spoke to my wife the way that I spoke to Steph after Steph did what she did, I'd have no problem because my wife would have put herself in that position. But first off, I wouldn't have put my wife in that situation. See? Now, if Steph had a man, he would have kept her mouth shut, but she doesn't have a man. Right? I don't care how he left, whether that by death or by choice, he's not there. So if you had a man, the man would have told you, hey, shut up. Don't be saying that stupid stuff in the public sphere. People gonna come after you. A man would have kept her in check. But they don't have men. They have boys. They got girls around them. They got feminized people. This is part of the problem when I told you that the devil is trying to do exactly this. Effeminate men to masculine women, and you end up with this. And of course, as soon as you go after them after they be masculine, all of a sudden they found their femininity and say, don't talk about women. Bruh. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Pick one. Pick one. Either you're a female and you want to live in your femininity, or you want to act like a male, and then when you get treated like a male, all of a sudden you find, no, pick one. Pick it and stick with it. Just stick with it. But yes, if my wife were to be found on the internet, trust me, I'd be just like Corlana. Now, you apologizing for that. You're apologizing for that. For that. Anyway, let her continue.
It's so pathetic and so weird what they did to Steph that literally now they're just like,
No, we're not. I mean, what do you mean? No. You see the difference is we say what we gotta say, and that's it. And the problem here is that when we get into what she really is going to be talking about, you'll understand what this is all about. It will make sense. I promise you it'll make sense when weighed against the book, the Bible. You will understand fully why this behavior is normal for them, because the effort that the devil is doing is now magnifiable in their life because they've allowed it.
damn, that's a threat, man. You want our wife? Oh, it's BMG. So this is BMG. I don't know.
I want to get to the question that me get to the question of that the person posted. Let me get to it. I need to get to that. Okay, here it is. This is the question. All right.
Everything, because then that would be. Is Jaguar White a witch? I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Let me ask y'all a question. Let me take her. I can't stand that face for too long. Let me ask you a question. If you hang out with somebody all the time, which she does, and you've heard them say this stuff, and you heard them say this, oh, they follow the old ways and everything is witchcraft, wouldn't you then, by just listening, admit that, they are? Kind of like how we came to that conclusion. I mean, it took us a lot less time for us to figure it out, even though it took us a while. It did take us a lot less time than it did for her. One of her friends, so-and-so. Now, you'll understand why she'll say, I don't know, because she herself is also one.
Does it my question is, why are we acting as if we are back in the Middle Age?
Why are we acting like we're back in the Middle Age? Now, you'll understand the Middle Age, what she means by that in a minute. Here we go.
Like, when they were like, burn the witch! Burn the witch! She's a witch! I'm like,
I have a question for you guys, okay? I just have a question. This is my question. Who defends? Who defends? And I mean, after everything is out, who still defends a person like that? I will say this, and we've admitted this multiple times now on Too Strong. When you miss it, you miss it. But when you understand it, you have to switch. We understood it. See, what God did for us is, through our stubbornness, smacked us hard. But we didn't take the smack and say, but why'd you smack me? We took the smack and say, yep, okay, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. You're right. You see, we were called out by God to let our yays be yays and our nays be nays. We had started to conflate our yays and nays when it came to Miss Right. And for a brief moment, we parked it. Still regretful to this day about it, but also very grateful to have gone through it, because now we can more easily decipher people. But once you're at this point where something like that takes place in the public sphere and you're witness to it, how can you still go back and defend the behavior? She will tell you why she defends the behavior, which is why I'm saying the proof of today is in this statement. Here it comes.
why is that even? I'm sorry, Kat. That's all I can say. Your deal reckoning is coming. What? I don't understand. I don't, because I feel like being a Wiccan is it's a thing now. Like, there's so many religion now. I don't understand. I read book because I read Nora Roberts, and I see a lot of witches there. Isn't that like I'm more concerned with Satanism than witches?
Now, enter stupid. Enter stupid. I am more concerned about Satanism than witchcraft. What the? What? Hold on.
What the?
You, people, please, please explain this to me. Aren't they the same? Hold on. Yeah, thank you. What? I am more concerned about Satanism than witchcraft. I will explain to you why she separates the two in a second. But I want y'all to understand this is the logic that this, or the ill logic that this person possesses. Okay, this is the poor thinking that they have when it comes to reasoning through things. They don't have a reasoning bone. For all the books that they say they read, nothing really gets into their head. They just accumulate the knowledge that they read a book. Trust me, it gets way better, worse, something.
Thank you, Sean. BMG. Exactly. Jaguar keeps on saying that her God is God, the Almighty, Yeshua.
That's actually not what she says at all. In fact, we listened to Monday where she said she follows the old ways before Yeshua. So let me ask this: what was before Yeshua? You just said she follows the God, Yeshua. But she says that she follows the old ways, stuff written on tablets before Yeshua. Her words, not mine. So which is it? Which is it? I just want to know, which one is it?
I don't understand.
We know that.
She's a mermaid.
You know, I left my old some of my old ways behind. Some. And there are some things I normally stay away from saying, but I see why she's single. I see why. Man, if look, some laughs are contagious. And some are contagious like leprosy. That one's like leprosy. But I can see why she's single. My goodness. Anyway, continue. Sorry, I had to go on that last tangent there.
So yeah, from what I understand, she's a Christian. She talks about gods a lot.
Gods, yes, but not God.
I've never asked her, what is your religion?
Well, why not? Why have you not asked her that? And I'll tell you why she hasn't asked, because she does know. And she'll tell you that she knows, but then she said before, like you hear now, that she doesn't know.
That's such a weird question to ask. Personally, I am agnostic. So my grandmother was a voodoo priestess.
That tells me everything I ever needed to know. Wow. Now listen carefully, okay? Just hear me out. If you have the cojones to say on screen that your grandmother was a voodoo priestess, you have to understand the connotations of a voodoo priestess, right? Okay. You have to understand the connotations of a voodoo priestess. So, what is a voodoo priestess? Now, her family is originally from Haiti. Now, I know a lot about Haiti because we've had quite a bit of interaction with Haiti, being from the Caribbean and all that. So, there are multiple versions of voodoo in Haiti. Haiti is one of the most ridden and riddled places on earth for voodoo. Um, Outside of Cuba and Africa, there aren't very many places where you'll find voodoo more active. Um, the thing about voodoo is that it incorporates just about every religion in some way, shape, form, or fashion, either by dress, by ritual, by belief structure. They may even incorporate a couple of things about God in there, but the God that they talk about has a much different characteristic than the God in the Bible. In some cases, they'll even take some traits from the Catholics and from the Anglicans, and they'll take some from Protestants. They'll take from about every religion in order to do what they got to do. Okay, but what it always includes is some sort of ceremonial aspect where they use the ritual to accomplish the ends, not the God, the ritual. They trust the God to enact the ritual, but they use the ritual to get things done. So when you hear that your grandmother was a voodoo priestess, it must mean that they were not just a practicer of the ritualistic art, they were one of the top contributors to it, which more than likely means that this individual is dealing with some sort of a um, stronghold somewhere in her world that she either accepted, wanted, or she doesn't even know exists. Right now, just remember though, she said that she's an agnostic. Okay, we'll come back to that here pretty soon.
And because those Black American are as racist as the worst stereotype of white person that they think in their head, they think that voodoo means like dark magic and
It
shit. When
it does. It does though. That therein lies the problem. It does. The entirety of it is black magic. And in case you want proof, people, these are dolls associated with voodoo. Markings, blood, skulls, death, darkness. You watch this, and these are all paraphernalia, right? A lot of their wording is death inscribed. A lot of it. Many of their rituals include using dead things. I'm not just talking about like animals to do with goats and stuff. Chickens, um, in some cases, cows. You name it. Goats. Um, in some cases, they may use people. Parts of your body. You donate hair. The entire ritualistic side of voodoo is death. They function in it. It is so known that if you look at voodoo that's practiced in New Orleans, right? And you watched if you ever watched The Princess and the Frog, the voodoo man, um, he had that song, I've Got Friends on the Other Side. It is 100% about a death cult. So yes, they're right. It is about death. All you got to do is, and who else did that? Let me ask a question. Remember, I said, did God really say is the main title of this? What was the one thing that the devil brought to Christ? If you would just but, all you have to do is simply just, it's no different. Just give me your soul, give me your time, give me this, give me that. Just bow down, just jump off, just worship. Now, you're going to hear even more crazy stuff.
It's not that at all.
No, of course not.
If they actually knew about voodoo, they would understand that, first of all, it's the religion that we had in Africa. Well, anyway, from where we were in Africa, where they took us. And then
I want you to see how stereotypical, because understand this, the very first annotations of the Bible, which is not voodoo or witchcraft, it stemmed from Africa. The oldest standing scripture came out of Africa. Go figure. But to blanketly say, oh yeah, all of Africa practices witchcraft is a lie. There are many, many, many countries in Africa that practice it, yes, but not all. But you have to say stuff like that to make it seem normal. So this is what she's doing, making it normal. Okay, good.
And they forced the slave to convert to Christianity.
Untrue, unequivocally untrue. 1 billion, but again, you can't say that she should know better, because stupid people don't know they're stupid. They just know, they just talk. They just talk. They don't know they're stupid. They don't understand that they're stupid yet. Nothing was forced. In fact, around the time that people start to really move slavery out of the Western world up there in the continents overseas, and it came to America, by that time, Christianity was already in full bloom everywhere, literally everywhere. Hence why scriptures were found in Africa. It would not be the least bit surprising to me if many of the black people that came from Africa were already Christian, kind of like the eunuch. Many of them had already converted to Christianity long before they became slaves in America, the Caribbean. I have no doubt about that. Now, they may have encountered a version of Christianity over here that varied from what they encountered over there where they were from. Because let's not get it twisted. The mix over here is very much the Catholicism and a new age kind of thing that we've now called Christianity. I have no doubts about that. But the book has not changed at all. The book hasn't changed. But then again, like I said, education level, not really there in the high end.
So what the slave in Haiti did to keep their religion was to take every saint that they could find in the Bible, anyone, and then put a equivalent of a voodoo god.
I thought you were agnostic. I thought you were agnostic. It sounds an awful lot like you're defending one faith over the other. It sounds to me like you're defending one specific religious practice over the other. And it just so happens to me that you seems like you're defending the one that your grandmama did, which tells me that you're probably still practicing the thing your grandmama did. There'll be proof in a minute.
So God is bon Dieu. Yeah, God is bon Dieu. Yeah, there is Papa Samedi, Maman Brigitte. Like there's so many God, but they're all equivalent to a Catholic person.
Therein lies the most stupid, moronic human being you will ever encounter in your life. Now she just proved to you that her idea of what Christianity is Catholicism. So for all the books that this moron read, you couldn't read one book that told you they're not the same? You couldn't read one book that told you that Catholicism is a Johnny-come-lately to Christianity? Not one book. It tells me you're not very read. But at the same time, I don't know that it is a matter of being unable to be read. She's already chosen who she's following. And why wouldn't, look, to be honest, why wouldn't they choose that? It exemplifies and glorifies the woman's role, doesn't it? Yes. And puts them in a very precarious situation. Here's the precarious situation. She said she was agnostic. That's what she said, not Gnostic. She's agnostic. Here's the precarious situation she's now been placed in. You now have to decide whether women are empowered or not. Now, if women are empowered and they can do whatever they please, you remember, do as thou wilt, okay? Then there should be no defense given if there is an altercation between a man and a woman to the benefit of the woman by saying, oh, you can't talk about a woman like that. You just said you were empowered. You just said that you are equal to a man. You cannot now go back and play the woman card when things don't go your way. But this is the predicament that the devil has placed modern day women in. He's given them the bait of, did God really say? Put them in a position mentally that they are the head. But knowing that the nature of woman is this, we are subservient, which is why women get hurt when they are put in a certain spot and put down or even rebuked against. What do? I'm a woman. You can't talk to me like that. Don't you know you're supposed to respect us? No, I'm treating you like the man, which means whatever comes your way comes your way. Isn't that how men are treated? So why can't I treat you the same way? They always run back to the woman card. Why? Because they want to have both worlds. And this is exactly what the devil pushes, right? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. The Bible always comes back to tell you exactly, and you can look, read, and you'll understand every time who the devil works with. The same way you can look at a feminized man trying to be one, but at the same time trying to tell you not to say certain things about them. Double-minded man, unstable. God thought of every aspect of the devil's work and brought it to our attention so we can pick them out just like that.
Because that's how they could keep their religion while being slave. I'm just like, you don't know shit about voodoo. Bye, BMG. Bye. They had to practice the religion in secret because
But it wasn't in secret though. That's the thing. Voodoo wasn't secret. If it were secret, it wouldn't be such a integral part of certain communities in America today. Like it wasn't secret at all.
they were slaves that were taken from their place of origin. Are you a witch? No, I'm agnostic.
She said it again. I'm agnostic. Agnostic. One who believes that it is impossible to know whether there is a God. One who is skeptical about the existence of God, but does not profess true atheism. One who is doubtful or non-committal about something. Agnosticism is the view of or belief that the existence of God, the divine, or the supernatural is either unknowable in principle or unknown in fact. She doesn't even know what she is. She found the word agnostic and thought it sounded like something she should say and picked it up. This is the problem with trying to be and act and try to come across as intelligent when all you are is a buffoon. At least act your grade level. Second grade would be around the place I would suggest you start behaving. I'd start at second grade. But apparently she has knowledge of it. Okay, because she can easily play one side against the other. She knows that the religion of Christianity is a lie in her mind because it has to be forced. You see my point?
For if you don't know what agnostic is, it is that you believe that there is a God.
Wait for it. Let's back it up.
Agnostic is, it is that you believe that there is a God, but you don't believe in any official religion, because I feel that
how do people make it this far in life being this retarded? Like, honestly, I'm sorry. How do you make it this far in life being that retarded? How do you pick up a mind? Listen, how do you say this is what I am and you have zero clue about what you picked? Look, Mr. So-and-so, thank you so much. How can you be this retarded? Like even actual retarded people are not this retarded. My brother, who is special needs, would look at you and say, she's retarded. He would look at you, this woman here, and say, nah, she definitely retarded. She retarded. Something is definitely off with that one. I'm not going to leave her alone. This is dangerous stuff. And there are other clowns in the comment section that would be just hyped up off the definition that she just gave and think she's making all kinds of sense.
Any official religion, because I feel that they were put in place to control people, to say what's right, what's wrong in a really weird way. So for me, that's weird. But yeah, no, I'm not a witch. Damn, if I was a witch, man. Well, yeah, no, I'm not a witch. I'm an agnostic person. I was raised in the Christian faith. My grandmother was a voodoo priestess.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. I was raised in the Christian faith. My grandma was a voodoo priestess. Um, you know what? I'm not touching that one.
For the good. She saved a lot of people in Haiti that were, sick.
Mm.
You
And you can tell that she doesn't believe that whatsoever. It's she helped a lot of people that were sick.
do realize that a lot of people we're calling women witches. But
There's the key right there. Just let the cat out the bag. The devil slipped up, and he slipped up just enough. Just enough. What did she just say? What did she just say? Please tell me, what just slipped out of her mouth? What was the one sex that she, bam, jumped straight to try and defend? Women. Women. The devil, the curse that was placed on him was enmity between you and the woman. What is the most efficient way to hate a woman? Remove her from her God-given role. It's really easy to make sure that the person, it's like this. If I know I hate somebody, there are two ways to go about it. I can beat them up, or I can create an atmosphere that fully removes them from where their power is and make their life absolutely miserable. Why do you think so many of these women look like that? Think about this for a second. In your own experience amongst your life living, okay? How many women that proclaim to be feminists or independent, tell me what's the one look that they all have? Every last one of them look a certain way, don't they? They all look. You can tell that there's no joy in their life. You can tell. And they all want the same thing, people to bow down to them. This is exactly my point of today's topic, which is why you hear her harp on the grandmother being a priestess. Like I say, once you understand the wiles of the devil, you will start to see his patterns develop. You'll start to see his trends, and you'll see exactly what he does and how he does what he does. I don't even know what she believes. I don't even know.
we're calling women witches. Back in the days in Salem, Like, really, we're back to this, to she's a witch. Like, really? Really? That's the point now. Plotter, we're talking about Too Strong calling Jaguar Wright a witch. And a lot of people calling her a witch. And I'm just like,
no, we didn't. We didn't do that. You see, that's the point. We didn't do that. That wasn't us. We didn't. That was not us. We didn't call her that. Did we call her that, folks? I don't recall doing that. I really don't. I do recall her saying that. That I remember. So let's hear from her own mouth what it is, okay? Because I don't want nobody saying I said something about somebody when they're the ones that said it. Not me. They did. I didn't say nothing. That person did. Okay? All right. So let's go to what she said. Let me bring this up here real quick for you guys.
I do not practice the same form of spirituality that everyone else does.
Okay, so let's just start with that. It's obviously not Christianity. That much is right straight off the top obvious, right? Okay. So if it ain't that, tell us what it is.
I follow Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
I serve the almighty living God.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Now
and I
elaborate.
acknowledge all sides of God.
Uh-huh. What are those?
God the Father,
Uh-huh.
God the Mother,
Oh.
and God the Son.
Oh. 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 Okay. Not Christianity. FYI, not Christianity. I want to be 100% clear. That is not Christianity. Whatever that is, it sounds more akin to black magic, more akin to witchcraft. That is not Christianity. That ain't God. That's something else. It ain't God. It ain't God. Now here we go.
why do you care?
Why do we care?
It's so weird. Like, I know she's a Christian. I know she's not but I'm just like, what's the matter? Why is that even a question? Even if she was a witch, who cares?
Even if she was a witch, who cares? Huh. You see what I mean? If you make everything acceptable, do as thou wilt, who are you following? Who are you following? Now understand this. How many are going to fall captive to this? How many?
It's like, let people be. Are they hurting people?
Yes, that is the crux of it, you moron. Yes, they are hurting people. That is the actual point of all of it. You tool. They are hurting people. Yes. Yes. And this is the thing, lady. Look, remember a few weeks ago, we covered TD Jakes calling Adam the mother of Eve. This thing has slowly left the realms of Satan worship and crept its way into what society calls the church. Now, the dangers of society viewing the church a certain way and this stuff going into it, now you have an amalgamation of something that they still call the church, but has no semblance of the owner. And many will follow that church. This is the danger of it. Now, let's look at the social implications of this. Young girls growing up with this nonsense in their mind, and young boys growing up in this in their mind, what happens to the family? What then happens to the family? Because now the mindset is for the women, do what you want. Don't want the kid, kill it. You find your man that you can push around so that if you do end up killing a kid, don't worry about it. It's all good. He'll be happy. And if you want to be promiscuous during it and have anything you want with multiple men, you can do that because as you will. Get a man that will let you do it. What happens to the family then? You'll see more violence within the family structure. Little boys will go out acting on emotion using a male trait. The destruction of society will follow real quick. Because more are going to give in to this nonsense. So yes, it is hurting multiple people on multiple levels.
Exactly. Most of them were healers, not witches. Like,
But you just said witches are not bad. Hear me out. You just said, so what if she was a witch? If you're going to tell me, so what if she's a witch, you must not think that being a witch is bad. So why would you need to come forth and say, but most of them were healers, not witches? See, they know. Innately, we know. We know it is built in. There are two natures, right? The one he created and the one that fell. And we know innately. This is why he said his invisible qualities have been made known since creation. He told you this. But now they're healers? But you just said witches are not bad. So why would you need to quantify the difference between a healer and a witch?
I don't know if witches and Wiccan, because I know there is a Wiccan religion. That's why I don't want to insult witches, because I'm like, I feel that there are people who practice Wiccanism or something like that. And I don't want to insult them because they have the right to do what they freaking want to do. So are you going to continue with the witch thing? She said she was a witch. She said she was a witch. Burn the witch, burn the witch, burn the bitch, burn the witch, burn the witch, burn the witch. Okay, like, what is wrong with you? Who gives a fuck? I don't understand. I don't even want to, like, that's why I'm like, I don't want to say, oh, witches. I'm like, isn't Wiccan a religion? Like, please tell me someone. I feel like,
You know, She doesn't want to insult witches, but she feels free to insult Christianity as a forced on people thing and a wanting to control black people thing. You can say that about Christianity, but you're afraid to speak ill about witchcraft. That tells me everything I need to know about you. That tells me everything I need to know about who you serve. Again, this is how stupid these people are. They say the quiet part out loud, and they're so dumb they don't even realize they're saying the quiet part out loud. Their brain is so frazzled and fried. I will speak ill about Christianity, but I'm afraid to talk about Wiccan, Voodoo, because I don't want to insult them.
Wiccan is a religion. Why do people want to insult another person's religion?
You just did that, you monkey. You just did it. Your entire diatribe was about insulting Christianity. The whole time you've been insulting Christianity. What? Bro. You literally just did what you say nobody should do. I understand why. I understand why you don't want to insult voodoo and black magic, though. I understand why. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. You can't afford to bite the hand that feeds you.
So I'm not gonna say, oh, what do Too Strong was calling Natanya.
No, not Too Strong. Me on this platform here. I was. I was. And I am not Too Strong. Too Strong is Corey and I. I am not too strong. Corey's not too strong. We are too strong. I know the number 2 might be a little bit high in your counting scale. I know you're probably stuck at 1. I understand. I understand you're stuck at 1, and 2 might be a difficult number, a little too high for you. But there are 2 of us, Corey, Marlon. 2 strong. Get it? I know it might be difficult, but I'm going to try and make it remedial for you. No, I call Natanya a Satanist because she's sitting up there with 2 witches, you and Jag. Trust me, we are fully aware. So look, the amount of times that they bring the vision to our platform. And I made a whole video about this because this has been from day 1. If I were to show you my inbox on either Messenger, Instagram, or email of the amount of times that people came into my inbox to try and tell me something ill about Corey. You better watch your back. He's this, he's that. I really like you more than I like Corey. I'm no jab at the division thing. They constantly tried. And I mean constantly. I want to make something abundantly clear to people. If you still think that'll work, you are dumber than a box of rocks. I am not Corey, and Corey ain't me. We are fully aware of that. We have completely different thoughts about things. But what we do have in common is God, the God, one God, only God. And that is all that matters. Our difference in opinions and viewpoints is what makes us so difficult to deal with. What I don't think about, he thinks about. What he doesn't think about, I think about. What I don't know, he knows. What he doesn't know, I know. It is one of the most perfect blends on the entirety of the internet, which is why people are afraid of Too Strong. They are scared to death about what we could accomplish, which is why we were both so happy when this thing happened to expose our inability to reason through the Jaguar right situation. We were happy in a way that this was we didn't like the process it had to take, but nonetheless we are happy that this happened because it got us right back on track. So no, lady, and thank you, Tins, for saying that, but no, lady, Too Strong is two people, not one.
Okay. Bye, Jojo. Like I said, my content could literally just be me being like
what? Staring at the camera? That would be your content?
who? Wicca. Thank you. Like I feel, aren't they called witches? The people who practice that. So, I'm just like, okay, she's a witch, whatever. And if someone talks to me about what happened with the ashes of her son, I will.
She said she'll F them up if they talk about the ashes of Jaguar's son. She'll F them up. All right, put your money where your mouth is. And that's a whole lot of gaps to fill. So let me have you you need a lot of money to fill them gaps. So let me help you out. The reason Jaguar Wright used the ashes of her son the way she did is because she's a witch and she has no regard for life. They dabble in death and she had no problem with her son dying. In fact, it was all hypocritical movements. She didn't care that her son died. She didn't give a damn. She doesn't. It was her lifestyle that brought death to her kid. Did she ever change and go take care of the other one that was there? No, because she didn't care. The witchcraft that was in her made her do what she did with them ashes. That's all, plain and simple. Now come and try and F me up. Gap-toothed fool. Come try. I said what I said, and I stand on it. That child had no meaning in that witch's life. That satanic devil woman had no concern about a kid while he was living. All of a sudden, the fake outrage about his death. If you really cared that much about his life, you would never have done that with his ashes. I don't care how distraught you were. That's disgusting behavior. It's not even sane behavior. That's not parenting. That's witchcraft. That is witchcraft and regret.
Okay. Losing a child. Oh my God. Okay. BS. Bye. Bye. Oh, why would you affiliate with a witch? I'm like, you and your witch hate go far away from here. Okay, far away. Like Wiccan is a religion. I bet there are witches. Like they're so weird and so pathetic. Like, okay.
People practice witchery all over the world, and it's all grand. like I told y'all, like I told you, this idea has been around for a while. Solomon had an encounter. Saul had an encounter. There are multiple examples throughout the Bible of witchcraft. He's even told you to stay away from it. But here you have people trying to blend, listen carefully, blend God with witchcraft and trying to tell you that God is okay with witchcraft because it's like any other religion. So what happens when you do that? You actually don't actually keep God. You're following the devil because you're doing as you wilt. You just think that you're using the name God positively in your world. The same way that Satanist Jag said, God the Father, God the Mother, God the Son. Later in that interview, she went on to say that she studied the things before Yeshua. I'm going to play the entirety of it because you need to hear it for yourself to drive this last point home. Okay? You need to hear it for yourself. Hang on one second. Let me find one more thing. Okay? I'm going to make sure I have this prepped and ready to go straight into. All right. Listen up.
And I acknowledge all sides of God. God the Father, God the Mother, and God the Son. I don't believe in doves and I don't believe in lambs.
John 1:29. The next day, John saw Jesus coming toward him and said, Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world.
I believe in the source that sources this world, the energy that sources us all. And I believe in the true words that were written down on tablet. Now, a lot of people read a book that they know is the Bible, and there's a lot of truth in it, just like Kim Porter's memoir. And it's also shrouded in a bunch of lies, just like Kim Porter's memoir.
I'm losing weight and feeling confident thanks to hers. I got prescribed compounded GLP-1 injections, which have the same.
I think the problem with religion is that we spend too much time trying to figure out who got it right rather than realizing we all got it right. And it's just the different lies that they put in it that make them different. I study the old ways. I study the ways that came before Yeshua was born. The things that I practice and the things that I know go back tens of thousands of years.
I hope you heard that. I hope you heard that yourself. I hope you heard that yourself. She says she follows Yeshua, God the Father, Mother, Son. But she studied stuff before Yeshua was born. But if you understand Christianity, then you'll know that he was the Word. So there is no beginning to him either, because he is God. You see there what I'm saying now? These nasty, disgusting people work for one of the most notorious liars ever. And he has no problem mixing a truth with a lie, because he knows at the end of the day, he pushes the lie with the truth. Not pushes the truth with a lie, pushes the lie with the truth. First, you call God God, and then he's all of a sudden essence and energy. This is witchcraft. Unfortunately, many, 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 many women fall prey to this. Many fall prey to it. Many. Second Timothy 3. But know this, that in last days perilous times will come. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. And from such people turn away. For this is the sort, for of this sort are those who creep into the households and make captives of gullible women, loaded down with sins, led away by various lusts, always learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of truth. It warned you about people like them. It warned you. God warned us about these people. This is not some silly internet beef nonsense. We are talking about spiritual warfare here, and we are dealing with the devil versus God. And these wenches deal with the devil. These whores of Babylon deal with the devil. They are Delilahs. They are Jezebels. Potiphar wives. That's who these people are. And they will use a reality to drag you in to their world and believe the lie. And you will think, I'm following God, because they're bringing light and enlightenment and truth. You'll hear this all the time. She's bringing truth. Truth. This is not a trivial matter, people. Not trivial at all. This is life and death we're talking about. Look, I understand. And look, Too Strong is in this particular arena, okay? We cover social events, we cover stories, we cover topics, and we are in the business of exposing dark entities and behaviors, and we bring it to light, and we put God's covering on it and tell you to be aware. There is a massive difference between that and telling you about those situations and giving you nothing to do with God. All that is information. Not a single bit of it is knowledge of God. They haven't once given you an inclination to go to God to get any kind of resolve for this. It's drama. It's good TV. But if they're not taking you back to Him to leave it there, then they're just doing it to try and bring you to the other guy. And they're successful at it. But understand that this particular thing was spoken of. The last days, and whether or not we are in the last 100 or last 10, I don't know, but this is indeed the last days. Every day after this day is the last day. That's how you have to treat it, since you don't know whether you will have tomorrow or not. I don't know if God's going to come back tomorrow. I don't know if all the events are going to take place in one day. I don't know. But I'm not looking for the events to be believing. I'm not looking to a sign to get my track started. I'm not doing that. I can literally look right now and see people going against the book. And once that happens, I don't listen to them. It's really easy. That's all the sign I need. But to each their own. He did say that many would fall away, and there'll be few by the end of it all. The road is narrow. There's a reason why many are gravitating to this nonsense. It's because it gives them a sense of what I believe is right. There's a way that seems right to a man, and the end thereof is destruction. In the last days, many will be lovers of self. He mentioned it over and over, and that's exactly what you're seeing. Love of self. What I want. Me. And if you go against that, oh my gosh, oh. I can only ask you to think. I can't make you. Can't make you. I can ask you and invite you to read more. Can't make you. I can suggest to you that you take more time. Can't make you. I can ask you to be more intentional about your time with God. I can't make you. The only person that has that choice to make is you, not me, not your neighbor, not your dad, not your mom, not husband or wife. But the only way to make this hierarchy work is to stay within the confines of the hierarchy. God overall, man keeps his eye on God. Woman keeps her eye on man and God. Children are trained up by mother, father, to look to God. It's really simple. It's really simple. We want to make it difficult. We don't like hierarchy. In fact, I just had a conversation with another friend of mine about the same thing, about hierarchy. Because whether they see it or not, the idea of feminism has already snuck in and taken away from the Bible. They don't even realize it. They don't even realize it. I don't not like my friend anymore. I'm going to keep talking to him because there's still hope there. At least they're still in the same realm of God is still who God is. However, that's slowly eroding too. There's only a point to where I can go to, and then I'll be like, well, that's on you now. And it's closing in on that. And when it gets to that point, I'll just dust my feet. There isn't anything more I can do. For all intents and purposes, people were in a heated battle. And it's not that we're going to lose. We can't lose. But there are many who will not be joining us at the finish line. There are going to be many that are not joining us at the finish line. Some of them you might know. Some might be close friends, family members. And you have to be in a mental space where you say they chose. They chose. They decided this. This was what they wanted. That's what it. We have to be. We have to understand that. I'll close with this one verse. In Romans 1, it says this, and I'll have you guys read it with me here. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to salvation for everyone who believes, for the Jew first and also the Greek. For it is the righteousness of God. In it, the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith, as it was written, the just shall live by faith. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because what may be known of God is manifest in them. The same way she could not understand in her own mind the differences between the two, and they keep reverting back to the role of the female. That's known of God, and it's manifest. For God has shown it. Now they know. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that were made, even his eternal power and Godhead. There's that word again. So that they are without excuse. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man and birds and four-footed animals and creeping things. Voodoo, witchcraft. The Bible covers it all. There is nothing today that you ain't gonna find spoken about in that book. Not one thing. Not a single iota of the things going on in the world today, you will not find in there. It's in there. The warnings, all of it in there. Everything that clown said is exchanging the incorruptible God for a man-made image. Voodoo, witchcraft, the devil. If you continue to listen to those two idiots, those two blasphemers, those two Satan worshipers, that's on you. That is entirely, I'm not even going to tell you not to. I'll advise you, but do what you want. Since you're into the whole do as thou wilt, do whatever you want. Just keep the same energy, all right? Keep the same energy when you're on your deathbed and realize, you know what? I've been a fool. You better hope you were able to get the I repent before you lost your last breath. But if you want to take that risk and think you're going to have the opportunity to be forgive, you think that that's the opportunity you're going to get? You watch too much movies. I have seen enough on the internet to know that people can be standing on the street one day and then a tire from a stray car just goes right through you. You don't have a last breath. Whatever your last thought was in your head, that's all you exit with. So keep thinking that you have a little bit of time on your deathbed to repent. Keep thinking that. You might be sleeping and pass away. You don't have a chance to say nothing. Not everybody going to be on a plane going down and you have 5 minutes to repent. Not everybody going to be in a car just driving and seeing impending death coming at you. Boop. You're not going to have that. You don't know you have that opportunity. You don't know that. And if that's what you're banking on, I would say bank on the lottery, because you might win that before you get that opportunity. I'll answer your question in a minute, soul. But that's entirely up to you. It is. It's entirely up to you. Ain't nobody trying to convince you of nothing. Because like the word says, you know. You don't like knowing. You don't like to admit that you know, but you know. And the thing is, the fact that you know and you don't want to keep doing it tells me that you've chosen. And the instant you've already made that choice, you might be in a panic thinking, oh, if I just repent now, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. A life given to Christ is a choice made, not under duress. The choice has to be made knowing who you are before God, not out of fear. Not, oh my gosh, I might go to hell. No. You have to see your state before God to understand what he did. If you don't understand what he did on the cross, there's no way you can repent. There's no way you can be contrite about anything, because you don't see yourself before God. You see God and you see yourself and you think, I'm not that bad, but I'll join the church. You are trash. We are dung. We are garbage. Everything we have is to be burned. That's all we're worth. But God. But God. If you don't want him, don't want him. That's on you. But I can tell you this much: those of us who are following him aren't just going to sit back and hear you talk your stupid stuff all day and ain't say nothing. We're going to say something. And we might say it pretty brazen to you too. Brood of vipers, fools, snakes, all of them things we're going to call you, because that's what you are. So you decide. Either God is who he is and not who you made him out to be, or pick one. In any case, still waiting to hear about the piano. More than likely it will happen, but we're checking to see if there'll be snow up here. Snow. And I can't wait for this winter to be done. Anyway, scrolling at the bottom, the only accessible stuff I have right now is Cash App. Okay, so someone asked about it. There it is down at the bottom. As soon as I know more, I will let you guys know if something happens positive or whatever with the bank and with PayPal. But it's not going to come back. I'm not even remotely going to open a new account with PayPal. I'm done with them. Yes, please, Linda. I'm not going to worry about that at all. I'm not even dealing with PayPal anymore. If it all it takes is for them to know my handle, for them to get, I'm not. That's, and I have authentication and all that stuff set up, and I'm good. I'm good. I'm not doing that nonsense. That's too much. I put too many precautions in place on both ends, with the bank and with PayPal, for this crap to have taken place. I'm not doing that no more. The bank was supposed to call me when something over 500. That's all I can. 500. If something 500 come through, call me and let me know if it's me. $1,000? Come on, no man, come on. That's stupid. I ain't doing that with nobody. That's insane to me. So I might have to even think about changing banks and all that stuff too. But I don't want to do the big banks, because the big banks are just as bad. They take money from me every month regardless. Anyway, it's one of the most taxing things I've had to deal with this week, and it's just, it'll definitely test your patience. in either case, I'm not stressed, but it is angering. I can be honest with y'all, right? It's angering. It's really angering. And it's setting people back that I have stuff to do and things to be and food to find. It's just, okay, breathe. It's angering. So in any case, hey, look, that mattress thing is becoming more and more of an idea for me. I ain't gonna lie, transfer everything to cash and just hide that bad boy in a mattress somewhere. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that sounds like a really good plan. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it sounds like a good plan. And if anybody want to get paid, they got to be able to take cash. If you ain't taking cash, I'm not talking to you. Come on, bro. Come on, man. These people. Anyway, I'm gonna go check on Corey, see how he's doing. He was really sick yesterday. He couldn't even text me. His daughters had to text me. He was really out of it. He'd been fighting this thing for at least a week, and I keep telling that man he don't like to rest. He hates to rest. He thinks he's got to be going 24/7, and that's also going to aid in his getting sick. So I told him rest. So yesterday we were supposed to go live. We didn't because he couldn't talk. Okay, he was gone. So hopefully he's doing better today. I'll give him a call as soon as I'm done here, see how he's doing. Let him know about the division people out there. Still trying. Oh, we laugh so much at that stuff, bro. It's not even funny, but it is very funny. We laugh all the time. Too funny. In either case, Will Vibes in another day. For sure, at least on Savage Patriots, we'll be here. But I don't know about Straight Talk in the morning. But if it does happen, then you'll know by tonight. Okay, you'll know by tonight. The live will be up if I'm not going to be going live, or if I will be going live, it'll be up. If I'm not, then you know. Hey, look, I'm fine. I hit 50 long before 50 even showing up. Right, it hasn't shown up yet. It's still a year and some off. But when I got injured, I swear to you, I felt like I was 70 years old because of how much pain I was in. All the time. And if those of y'all who are here with me from the onset of Straight Talk, y'all know the kind of pain I'm talking about. It was bad. So for me to be here now the way I'm at, this was only God. Okay, I'm telling you now, this is why I don't not trust the man. God brought me this far. I'm going to tell you that much. The way my body is functioning now, it is a far cry from where I was 6 years ago, 3 years ago. Far cry. So I trust me, son. So I know full well. I think it is the flu. Yeah. It's that crap that was going around a couple of months ago that everybody got, that I even got, that took me out for a couple of days. Same thing. And it's rough. If it's the same thing I had, it's rough. It ain't nothing to play with. This new one, whatever this strain is that they put out, that boy's a bad boy. It's a bad boy. It's a bad boy. So anyway, keep him in your prayers, that he gets 100% recovered here soon. And if he's feeling better, we'll go live on tonight on Too Strong. Okay, so we'll see you guys there. Other than that, scrolling at the bottom, if you guys are interested in assisting until such time as things get back to normal, that'd be much appreciated. Of course, I always tell you who to speak to, and it's not me. Talk to God. Okay, speak to God. Love you guys, mean it. I do. You have no clue how appreciative I am of you guys as a family, of God. So wisdom calls to you from the streets. So please, 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 please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight the dreams, for if dreams die,